Prix podcast! Today, we are positively excited as F1 is headed to the Temple of Speed itself, the legendary Autodromo Nazionale Monza. We might just have ourselves a real Ferrari tale brewing at the home of the prancing horse, where the Tifosi are ready to paint the town rosso with passion. But will Max Verstappen continue his Italian runs in 2025, champagne-soaked after he took victory in Imola? I'm sure Red Bull fans will be asking for even amore! McLaren's been cooking up something very special lately. You might say they've basically had no competition this year. We want to know if they can serve Max a slice of humble pie, or if Max will prove he's simply unbeatabilini. The atmosphere promises to be absolutely incredible, with 300,000 passionate fans creating a wall of sound that will make your morning espresso vibrate in your cup. From the high-speed Lesmos to the legendary Parabolica, every corner tells a story sweeter than a perfectly layered tiramisu. It's gnocchi a joke, people. This race will be as hot as freshly baked pizza, or as smooth as the finest mozzarella di bufala. But to get us in the mood, we've got a special song for our Grand Prixsters to really set the tone for today's racing. Don't get your hopes up.
The season started and we knew nothing. Oh, grande prick, grande prick, grande prick, prick, prick. So we will teach her until she knows. And this is how the season goes. The season started, McLaren's dominance. Oh, grande prick, grande prick, grande prick, prick, prick. The rookies crashed, not Antonelli. And Lewis wasn't happy with a dummy. And then the drama surrounding Red Bull. Oh, grande prick, grande prick, grande prick, prick, prick. Max contract rumours and Horner sacked. Plus Lawson and Sonoda swapped. The words of wisdom that want Ferrari. Oh, grande prick, grande prick, grande prick, prick, prick. Don't have a tea break while you are at it. The Tifosi want a Monza win.
F1!
Last week saw Hadjar step on the third step. Oh, grande prick, grande prick, grande prick, prick, prick. But his performance has fallen back down, cause he was knocked out in Q1. Hammer time coming here at Monza. Oh, grande prick, grande prick, grande prick, prick, prick. A 5-place grid, penalty knocks him from 5th to 10th on the starting grid. How will Ferrari impress Italy and finish in P1 and 2?
Why did we decide to do that? That was a choice.
I feel like I'm cringing on like first, second, third, fourth, and fifth hand embarrassment. I've never experienced something quite like that.
I have one thing to say to the listeners. We are sorry.
No, do you know what's actually really sad? Is we thought this would be really fun, but I think when we were recording it, we thought like this is going to be pretty good.
We thought we ate.
And
Did we?
I think we ate and then threw up all over it. It was terrible.
It was
Listen,
such a good song as well, and we were with the song.
Don't incite the hate that's obviously going to happen on Instagram and TikTok.
We would like
preparing.
to apologise to the entire of Italy.
Yeah.
And also just the ear community.
Yeah.
Listen, we're nothing if not creative
Yeah.
and able to laugh at ourselves.
And
Exactly.
delusional.
Yes.
Mhm.
And also kind of cringe, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
Mm.
We did this so you don't have to.
I don't think anyone in their right mind would.
Well, it is Italy.
Mm-hmm. Part 2.
Part 2 of Italy. And the Ferraris are looking kind of quick.
They are.
Mhm.
Why?
Apparently they've been using some parts from their 2024 spec car to create a lower downforce situation.
That's interesting, because obviously last year they were in the fight right up until the very last race for
Yes.
winning the Constructors' Championship.
Yes.
So then, when they were coming into this year and Fred Vasseur said that they had changed 95% of their car,
Yes.
I think everyone, including us, was scratching our heads and thinking, why?
Yeah, I can understand that because why throw away a good thing?
Yeah.
You know? It's like Kim and Kanye, you know?
Oh,
Maybe not.
bad things on both parts there.
Were they quick?
Well, last year.
No, Ferrari this year.
I thought you meant Kim and Kanye.
They weren't that quick in qualifying.
No, but they were looking quick all through practice.
They
Oh,
were
to be
1 and
fair, I
2
didn't
in one
watch
of the
practice.
practice sessions. What?
What?
They were 1 and 2 in one of the practice. They were 1 and 2 in one of the. They were 1 and 2 in one of the practice. One of the practice fucking sessions. Sorry. They were 1 and 2. They were 1 and 2 in one of the practice sessions. The words have lost all meaning now. I've said it so many times, and I know Nav's not going to cut it out. So here we are.
But they weren't that quick in qualifying.
Do you know what I think made them faster?
What?
Their special livery that they brought this race.
I liked it.
It is in honour of Niki Lauda, as Ferrari celebrates the 50th anniversary since his first World Championship win with the iconic Scuderia.
Ooh.
Isn't that nice?
Mm.
We love a bit of Niki. And Lewis was saying that he loves the fact that he was in Mercedes and Niki Lauda was at the time a special advisor or consultant for Mercedes. So he got to win championships with Niki on the pit wall for him, cheering him on. And now he's moved to Ferrari. And obviously Niki Lauda has sadly passed away. But he raced
Has he?
for...
Oh my god.
Are you taking the mic? Yeah.
I didn't know.
Like in 2019, right?
I thought he was alive. I thought he just retired.
Well, he did, but he's dead now.
Really?
Yes.
What? Okay, in what world would I pretend someone's dead when they're not? What is wrong with you? Why would I say that on a podcast? Like, that's crazy.
Sorry for this entire time. I've been thinking.
We did an episode about him, kind
I
of.
don't know, he died.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he was just like retired and living his life.
No, he died May 20th, 2019, age 70.
Oh, he's that old?
How old do you think he was?
I don't know. I thought he was still like his 50s or something.
But he won his championship in 1975. Do you know what? Thank God the people that listen to this are like, oh, we get loads out of listening to this podcast. Clearly you don't, and you're on the podcast.
Okay, please don't include like questions about ages of drivers in the next F1 exam. Thank you.
Good Lord. My. Okay. I don't know how to swing out of that absolute brain fart that you've just had.
R.I.P.
The Niki Lauda stands are going to kill you.
Well, yeah, okay, so special livery and also the suits. I really like the suits with like the embroidery sort of pattern
So did
thing
I.
that they had.
I do find it a bit weird that they're still going with blue, though.
Yeah, HP though.
Yeah, I know, but Lewis was like, I've always envisaged being in Monza in Ferrari in red,
Yeah.
but I'm in blue.
Yeah.
And I was like, fair, I get that.
The hats were cool.
The hats were very cute.
The hats were very cute. I get it. No, I get it. Money talks, and you know, the most iconic team is red, and they're wearing blue. It's a bit confusing, but I get it. I do get it. But I liked the livery, and I liked the race suits for this weekend. What I would love to see is a podium moment for. Let's be realistic. Charles Leclerc, because
Yes.
Lewis is starting from 10th.
And Leclerc obviously got his podium last year as well.
But
He won.
Yeah.
I put him in my predictions as the winner for this race, Charles Leclerc.
Ambitious.
Wow,
And
we're
you
running
put-
on pure
You put
optimism
Lewis
today.
out of the points.
Yes, that was my wild card prediction.
That is a wild card. I don't think that's going to happen. He's
Well,
starting in the
10th.
points,
Yeah, but he's starting 10th, like on the cusp.
but he's in a Ferrari.
I know, but the Ferraris tend to have a bit of a pooey first start of the race, so I was thinking maybe he'll move back a bit.
And then not move forwards again.
Yeah.
Please may we have a round of applause for Max Verstappen.
Why?
Red Bull have got an own thing, right, for coming in on a Friday, being absolutely nowhere, and being able to turn that fucking shit around ready for a Saturday. And he pulled that lap out of nowhere.
Yes, that's
Literally
true.
nowhere.
That is true.
I don't know where that came from. Apparently, Laurel Matthews, the new team principal, who has replaced Christian Horner after obviously he got sacked, he was saying that Max pushed them into quite an unusual setup, but it seemed to seriously work.
Yeah.
So, a round of applause for Max Verstappen.
I mean, to be fair, Norris and Max kind of came out of nowhere for qualifying. Because Norris was basically nowhere. I thought he was going to be out after Q2.
Basically nowhere. He was
Yeah.
in a McLaren.
No, I know, but he didn't qualify that well in Q2. And
No,
he
he
wasn't
did
really
make a few mistakes in Q2, that is
Yeah.
true.
And,
And he
Piastri
was-
had to give him a toe to get him through to Q3.
Also
Yeah.
true. Love the teamwork,
And
boys.
he wasn't doing that well up until like the last minute of Q3. And then I remember we were both like shocked when he just randomly flew to almost take the pole position.
Yeah.
And then Max took it out of nowhere. And it was like the last 20 seconds of qualifying.
But he's come into this 34 points adrift from his teammate who's now leading the championship. He needs to be attacking. He needs to be on it. So I'm glad that he was able to qualify ahead of Piastri. That will be good for his mind games coming into this race today, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
If he came out behind him or he had a complete stinker in qualifying, I feel like he would come into it a bit more defeated. Whereas now it's like, okay, he's behind me. Now I need to make sure he stays that way.
Yeah.
What other quali info do we have?
Sonoda made it to Q3.
I was shocked.
Yes, same.
I saw his name and I thought, what are you doing here?
Literally. Russell and Antonelli both made it.
Yes, Antonelli. I was happy
On
for him.
mediums, though, they did.
Yeah.
Not
And-
Russell.
No, but Russell, he did mediums in one of the earlier queues, didn't he? And he was absolutely fucking flying. Doesn't make any sense to me. You'd think that with the soft tyre having the most grip and it wearing out the quickest because it's got, you know, this fantastic performance life in it, that it would produce the fastest laps. So it made no sense that they were able to go onto a medium and suddenly be doing hot laps like that.
Yeah, but I guess
he wanted
all-
it for Q3 and didn't get them.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on how the car is responding to it as well. Because some tyres work
That is
better
true.
on some cars than they do on others.
Bit of a fussy Merc they've got on their hands,
Very
I reckon.
much.
Because if you think about it at the start of the year, they came out of the gates like God knows what, and they were on it. And I feel like since Canada, it's all started to slunk backwards
Yes.
slightly.
And a bit of a fussy team principal as well, because I think a lot of people, I know I was expecting some contract announcements maybe this week for Russell and Antonelli, but no, still nothing on that front.
I
Yeah.
still think they're trying to romance and court Max Verstappen.
Well, yeah, apparently I think Jos Verstappen was saying that he's still in talks with Mercedes and also Ferrari.
Ferrari?
Lewis is going
Yeah.
to retire.
Ferrari?
He said something, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, we're still talking to the big teams that are after us. That's Ferrari and Mercedes. McLaren aren't interested or something.
I wonder why.
Well, they're already locked in until like 2028. So.
Well, they've also got two great drivers. It
Yeah.
makes no sense for them to have Max. But interesting. Huh. I mean, I read an interesting article this week. That's right, I read and stuff. I read an interesting article that said that if they didn't have Max Verstappen in Red Bull, that Red Bull would be a backmarker team.
Yeah.
And I kind of haven't... You ever hear something and then you're like, well, I can't stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot. They've only got one driver that can really maximise the potential out of that car. Hence, Max Verstappen is lining up on
Yeah.
today's grid in first. But the more interesting matter of the fact is, does that hinder potential teams wanting him because they know that he has such an unusual way of wanting his car that they will end up having to have either drastically different setups and cars, or they have to favour the world champion because he is able to extract the most out of that car.
Potentially.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Mercedes would have to completely change how they set up the car. So would Ferrari. But then is it worth it to have Max Verstappen? How long does that become a help and how long does that become a hinder?
Yeah.
I'm glad there's silence.
No, well, you've given us lots to think about.
Thank you. I try to incite.
Obviously, we have Lewis Hamilton with his 5-place grid penalty. So even though he made it into Q3 and qualified in 5th, right behind teammate Leclerc in 4th, it does mean that he'll be dropping down to 10th.
He needs a good race, does Lewis, because he still needs to win over the Tifosi. They were both in Milan and they were being serenaded by... Honestly, like the whole of fucking Italy was there, I can't lie.
Yeah.
In my mind, all the supermarkets were empty, offices were quiet, there was, you know,
I think it
swimming
was probably
pools
a
empty.
bank holiday.
In my mind, every person was all like, you know, when you have it in cartoons where there's like spinning chairs and there's like no one in it because they've dashed out. They've all headed to the same place, and they were all serenading Charles and Lewis from this balcony. You could tell Lewis was finally clicking like, this is what Ferrari actually is. And the Tifosi know and love Charles, but Lewis is a new boy in town. And even though he's delivered greatness with another team, he hasn't quite delivered greatness in Ferrari. He will be wanting to try and maximise his result today, to try and win favour with the Tifosi.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, his qualifying wasn't bad. Qualifying in 5th is really not bad. And then dropping down to 10th, at least he's not at the back of the grid. He still has potential to make it up. So it's not the worst case scenario. It's very unfortunate that he does have that penalty, but it's also, it could have been worse.
Yeah, and I think the Ferrari seem to have a little bit of pace in their pocket this weekend, so probably one of the better places to have got the grid penalty, to be honest with you. If you've got pace in hand, then at least you know you can make some places up.
Yeah, exactly.
Best case scenario.
And the final bit of quali update to give is that there will be 2 drivers starting from the pit lane in the race, and that is Pierre Gasly, who is fitted with new components, and also Isaac Hadjar, who is going to undergo a power unit change.
He was not a happy bunny in qualifying.
No.
Yeah.
He was not happy with your man's.
Yeah.
Science. Was not happy. In his Q1 flying lap, the last one that he did, he said in the media pen interview afterwards, he didn't understand why Carlos Sainz had gone off out on used softs and then was just driving slowly, getting in his way. And he was like, I'm sure that's not what happened, but that's what it felt like. I was like, you're relatable. Love that. So yeah, he wasn't very happy. And also, what a weird turnaround. This track does not seem to suit their car, that he can go from the podium last week and suddenly Q1 exit this week. So... But I have faith in little Hadji the Cute.
Yeah.
I have faith. I think he'll be able to do something. He'll entertain us in ways that we're not expecting, I'm sure.
Yeah. Shall we see what these guys can do?
Fuck yeah!
Let's go racing!
What a short race.
That was a short race. That
Yeah.
flew by.
Beep, 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 beep. Sorry, that's the noise I make when I have a fact to tell you.
Oh.
This was the fastest World Championship Grand Prix ever in F1 history.
Damn.
The total race was 1 hour, 13 minutes, 24 seconds, and some other numbers. And the previous record was set in Monza as well by Michael Schumacher, 7-time world champion, legend in the scene, for Ferrari in 2003, which was 1 hour, 14 minutes, 19 and other numbers. So that was fast.
What a smooth back.
Thank you.
Nearly a whole minute quicker,
Yeah,
basically. Is
that's
what
very
you're trying to
true.
say.
Beep, 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 beep. Max Verstappen has won twice in Italy this season.
He has indeed.
So, should we start saying that Italy is also a home race for him?
No!
All right, fine. Well, just an idea.
Although, he did get a lot of cheers from the crowd, and Norris got booed.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about? I didn't get that.
Now, I think the booing is because of the team orders towards the end of the race.
But that's not Norris's fault.
That was drama.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh. That's my drama noise. Let's talk about it, shall we? Ooh. Okay, so, lap 1, Max is in front.
Mhm.
Lando is going to the right of him and is trying to get past there. He runs out of tarmac, ends up on the grass, and then ends up being able to not scamper away. Max stays ahead.
Mhm.
But then they had this whole tussle backwards and forwards, and he even said, what's this idiot doing? He put me on the grass. And then Max gets told to give him back the position, which he ends up doing.
Because he cut a corner.
Yes, exactly that. Then on lap 4, Max overtakes Lando once again for the lead. That was critical for Max.
Yes,
Very clever
very
and
much
very
so.
critical.
And managed to scamper away quite quickly.
Yes, he fucking did.
Yeah. I
So,
wouldn't lie to you.
by lap 11, he had a 3-second lead over Norris, who was in second, and he had a 4-second lead over Piastri. And he was building that gap all the time so that he could get some safety when it came to the pit stop time. But later in the race, on lap 43, we had 10 laps to go, and still, the McLaren still hadn't pitted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Those
was
medium
strange.
tyres held on quite well for them.
They should have gone a step softer.
Yeah.
What's the point of having them if you're not going to use them? So 10 laps to go, they were still on the same frickin' mediums that they put on at the start of the race. And then they said to Lando will box this lap onto the soft tyre. And he even made a point, his engineer, of saying there'll be no undercut. Don't worry about it.
Because he was obviously in front, so he gets to choose the pitting order and all
Yeah,
of that.
he
sort
gets
of
the
thing.
priority because he was in front. Lap 46, Piastri boxes onto the soft tyres. Now, this was playing the team game on Lando's part, because Lando was saying that should I let Oscar box first so that he can have fresh tyres ready to defend against Leclerc, so he can defend that position.
Up.
Exactly. That was good on Lando's part. He was recognising the team game. So that's what happens. However, on lap 46, the same lap that Piastri is boxed onto softs, at the end of that lap, Norris is told to box. And then on lap 47, disaster struck, because he had a 5.9 second pit stop, which was 4 seconds longer than Piastri's 1.9 stop.
Yeah.
Which was because of the front left gun wasn't tightened on enough, so he was sat stationary like a complete fucking papaya-looking lemon for ages. Or a papaya, anyway. Oscar's radio engineer said to him, "We are boxing the cars this way to cover Leclerc. You are free with Lando once he's ahead on pit exit."
Yeah, meaning you're free to race after that point.
However, unfortunately for Lando, Oscar was already ahead, so that message didn't make any fucking sense. And then, lap 49, the radio message came through and said, "This is a bit like Hungary last year. Please let Lando pass and then you're free to race," which is obviously a delayed message, but here we are. And Oscar replied, "I mean, I said that a slow pit stop is part of racing. I don't really get what's changed here, but I'll do it." Oscar let Lando pass and then was in DRS to Lando, but Lando was able to keep that position and they stayed in P2 and P3.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened in Budapest last year?
It's basically this again, isn't it? They messed up.
Yes, it was a
pit
bit
stop.
of drama, there
Yeah.
was.
That was the race where Lando got ahead after a dodgy pit stop for Piastri, and they kept radioing him saying, "Oh, let him pass, come on, we're a team, you're going to need your team in this, Lando."
Yep, exactly that.
And he basically left it as late as possible, and everyone kind of thought he wasn't actually going to let him pass. And I believe that was for a race win.
That was for Piastri's first ever win.
Race win, yeah.
Yep.
So we completely tarnished that experience for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then for the next race, I believe they then set out their Papaya Rules and
Yes.
said, "We're giving preferential treatment to Lando this season."
Yes, it caused a bit of a stir at the time because it proved that there were still growing pains within McLaren to see, are they able to take on the pressure of being a leading team?
Yeah.
And it did mar Oscar's victory. Lucky for him, he's now currently a shoe-in to win this year
Yeah.
and is leading the championship and has won many races so far. But it did show that there was a few cracks in that papaya outfit, and it sort of came up again as a bit of a gremlin. I revel in the controversy and the drama. However, what do you guys think? Do you think that Oscar should have done what he did and played the team game, or do you think he should have said, "Fuck you, I'm staying ahead"?
I think he should have played the team game if that is what they have agreed to do. However, I also agree with him that bad pit stops are also part of the luck
Yeah, that's
that
true.
you get in F1. You need everything to be smooth and clinical and shit like that. You know, if Max was competing against someone else and he had a slow pit stop, you wouldn't then expect someone else to let him pass and be like, "Oh, you know, it's not his fault. Let's do the racing on track because, you know, a pit stop isn't part of that." No, a pit stop is very much part of that. That's why pitting is like such a big part of strategy and like how you time when you pit and what tyres you use and what gaps there are to pit into and stuff like that. So I think that plays into it. At the end of the day, Lando decided to let Piastri pit first.
Yep.
If he had said, "No, I'm ahead, I'm pitting first," he would have had the 1.9 stop and Piastri would have had the 4.9 stop.
5.9.
5.9, yeah.
I went on Twitter after the race to kind of see the
X.
reactions on X, to see the reactions of everyone towards the whole McLaren swap thing. And a lot of people were angry. A lot of people were saying that the McLaren team doesn't know what they're doing. And it was mostly anger because this is a championship fight.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be having any control over the way that they race in a championship fight, which I understand. And I get the anger and frustration on both ends. But, like, at the same time, can you really call it a championship fight anymore?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but with the track record of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, majority of the races, but they're both at least getting podium,
Yeah.
right? So even if Oscar Piastri isn't winning, he's still ending up in either P2 or P3 consistently.
Mhm.
And it was just Lando who's crashed. Well, he crashed once and then he had to retire a second time. So he's a lot more behind than Oscar Piastri
He's
at
only
the minute.
31 points behind. And,
Yep.
you know, if he was to make sure that he won every race now until the end of the year, cool, he's won the championship.
But I think that's a stretch. And I also think that would be, like, I think his chances would be higher if Oscar Piastri were to crash or retire in any of the future races. And I think that would be one of the only things that might lead him to be a championship, or if he wins every single one of them. But given the 2 retirements that he's had, I think his chances of actually winning are very low now.
But that can happen to Oscar as well. You know, he might not be on pole position, he might be in second, and someone else might be on pole position, and he goes way too aggressive on the first move and ends up, you know, taking himself out. And,
Or gets a penalty.
Or gets a penalty. Like, it's all to play for still. This championship is going to go right until the end of the season. There's only 31 points between them, and there's 7 points difference between finishing first and finishing second. And there's 25 points difference between finishing first and retiring.
I say from now on, if the title fight is still on, then they should stop having team game rules then.
Yeah, no one wants to see a title decided over the radio.
No. So I think that they've afforded themselves the luxury of being so competitive that they can have team orders and games and stuff like that, because ultimately they knew that they couldn't fight Max today. He just had a supreme amount of pace they couldn't catch up with. And he was clever to get the move done earlier in the race. He could just keep building a gap in clean air, which was a great strategy from Max and the rest of the Red Bull team. But McLaren were battling for second and third.
Yeah.
Didn't really matter which order. Second and third was the best they could have done today because we didn't have a safety car or anything else and any other variables like weather that sort of played up an alternative strategy. So I think with that, I understand from Lando's point, his main point was, I don't want there to be any undercutting. I don't want him to end up being ahead of me, but to make sure that we preserve the second and third, let's do this plan.
Yeah.
However, that is recognising that maybe similar to what I mentioned in China with Lewis and Leclerc earlier in the year, where it was almost banking a bit of good fortune for his teammate later in the year. Oscar's already said, this is a team I want to work with. You know, if they ask me team orders, I will play that game because, you know, we do need each other and whatever. However, McLaren are just an awfully nice bunch of people. But as fans, I think maybe you end up having mini controversies along the way because, oh, so-and-so lost out this time with this ruling. Just don't have them.
Yeah.
Run your own race. You know, give each other a tow, give each other DRS, you know, that sort of thing, fair enough. But I think when it starts compromising you and you're putting yourself too much in the team game, be a killer.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen does not do stuff like that.
Yeah.
He categorically doesn't. He even got told by GP on lap 50 that the McLarens have swapped positions. He said, just because of a slow stop. And then GP said, it's not our business, but I guess it keeps it fair between the drivers in terms of championship. You focus on the road ahead as well, please. Which I thought was very funny from GP saying, okay, tea time's over, let's keep racing. However, I think that Max's reply sums up his championship mindset, which is like, what? What the fuck? No, that's
and
weird.
You know, we had it with Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber as well, multi-21, the team telling them swap positions, let the second car go ahead of the first car, being Mark Webber, Seb, let Mark Webber past you, let him finish ahead of you. And he didn't do it.
Yep.
Because that's a championship winner right there. He's just like, no, I need more points. I'm going to finish ahead of him.
As Will Buxton would call it, the inner bastard.
Yes.
Will Buxton, who was an F1 journalist and also was the iconic contributor to Drive to Survive.
Yes. Netflix, we're still waiting for our call.
We are. I could say things. When it's raining, it's wet.
Add that to the words of wisdom.
Thank you.
But, I mean, just to add to the whole Lando and Oscar being asked to swap places, it would have been the same either way around. You know, one driver in DRS of the other one, much closer than they originally were before the pit stop. So why did it really matter if it was like, okay, let him pass and then Oscar have your chance to properly race him? Why couldn't Lando do it? Why couldn't he properly chase him down?
I think it was a team game that benefited him because he knew that then Oscar would be under pressure and he can have some fresh boots of some tyres on and to be able to fend off Leclerc in a Ferrari that had quite a lot of straight line speed this weekend and was fastest in the speed trap overall of all the teams. I guess it was kind of, okay, give him the priority so he can help keep me in P2, similar to what happened in Singapore when Carlos Sainz won and was giving Lando Norris DRS so that Norris could then give the Merc DRS so everyone would get stuck in a DRS train. So I guess it was that. I think they're two fantastic racers and I really want to be able to see them going at it without all this team orders shit.
Yeah.
It also makes it a lot less exciting because the only excitement comes when it, like today, when it all goes fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't become interesting and actually it's sort of robbing us of the gamble of what's going to happen in that race. They looked a bit silly today.
Yes.
And I felt sorry for Lando, but also it was also the racing gods decided to just fuck around today with that little pit stop.
I just wonder how Oscar might be feeling, because they said they'll talk about it later, right?
Yeah.
And he was already pissed a few races ago when he was told to take the penalty.
Oh, when he was brake testing when it was before a safety car in Silverstone, right?
Yeah. And he got a penalty, and it ruined the win for him with that race. And he was pissed at the team for not fighting it.
He was more than pissed. He was furious. You could tell he was really not happy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's going to be like another thing that he's going to be pissed about, and if it's going to cause some drama internally for McLaren.
Well, there's 8 more races for them to stick it out and keep fighting, and hopefully fighting on track and not over radio.
Yeah, my God.
So the Italian team in Italy, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, did they give the Tifosi much to be happy and celebrate?
Oh, I mean, from last year, Charles Leclerc winning, if you're looking at it, that direct comparison, coming home in 4th from 1st, not fucking great, is it?
Yeah.
I think he had a great start. You know, he was getting himself involved. I think both the Ferraris were looking rather pacey and very up for it at the start of the race.
He was tussling with Piastri for a bit, and then he was fighting off George as well.
Yeah, I mean, Piastri even said that Leclerc was all over the place under braking and he had to avoid him.
Yes.
So that doesn't tell you that he was trying to get himself where he, anywhere he could.
He was trying for you, Italy.
Yeah, I mean, no, I you could tell the pair of them were really giving it their all. But I do feel like they kind of stalled out in where their true pace kind of laid. I think the Tifosi will be disappointed with that. We're in round 16 with Monza, which is a home race for the Tifosi, and they are winless aside from Lewis Hamilton's sprint race. But an official Grand Prix win is still eluding them.
Yeah.
And
but Charles Leclerc has had a few podiums.
But he hasn't won.
Yeah.
If they're not going to see him on the podium, at all, they would love, if we're going for complete hopium is copium, then we're going to say they want a 1-2. And they had high hopes coming into this weekend. They changed the spec of their front wing and other bits to make sure that they could have a bit more pace, and that seemed to work. But I think that they needed to be higher up the order to really have full attack. We saw today with Max that as long as you're in clean air and you're able to get ahead of those McLarens, you could keep them behind you. It's just trying to get ahead of them. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, I mean, they finished similar to what they did in Imola, only it was Hamilton finishing in 4th and Leclerc finished in 6th. Interestingly, the top 3 are in the exact same order: Max, Norris and Piastri.
Interesting.
For Monza and Imola.
It's interesting that with this race, like with Ferrari's track record, they usually get better in the second half and they get a bit more speed. But then with this one, it seemed like the start of the race was very good for both Lewis and for Charles, because, I mean, Charles was in the front with Piastri, Norris and Verstappen, and he was able to hold on to his place and fight them off. And with Lewis, he was able to move up quickly from P10.
He moved up very quickly as well.
Yeah, he did.
From P10 all the way. But then they kind of seemed to slow about halfway through the race, and they just mostly just kept position rather than really try to fight them off. It's frustrating that Lewis had
that penalty, because could he have gotten even further up, a couple of places up and managed to get that podium with a double-pronged attack from both Charles and himself, kind of both moving through traffic?
Yeah.
We'll never know. Although, as with everything with Ferrari, there could not be a race with Charles Leclerc involved in a red car without him having a question or a jab at their strategy calls, because on lap 34, he got called into the pits and he was on his medium tyres and it was going to change onto hard tyres. He came in P4 and he came back out in P6. There was a question that he might have come into the pits too quickly because he locked up all of those tyres. They were gone, but he didn't seem to have had any penalties. But then the lap later, he said, if we were not under threat, why did we stop now? And they then said, we will discuss after the race. So I was kind of expecting them to go on to the soft tyre, similar to McLaren, because they didn't really have anything to lose. They were trundling around in, just outside the podium ahead of, this long DRS train, thanks to Gabby the Great. I kind of wanted to see a shake-up in a bit more strategy coming into it. Feel a bit too one stop and you're done. That was kind of all they had.
I think the issue that was caused is that most of the, top 10 and all of that started on the mediums, but there were like 4 racers who started on hard tyres. So then when everyone above them pitted, they then, somehow ended up P6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. And then when it came to the people at the front then needing to pit to get off their mediums and to, try different strategy things, they then would have pitted but come out behind them and come out into traffic. So because there wasn't enough like gaps in the field for them to pit into and have clean runs, it was then like, oh, well, we're kind of stuck in what we can do strategy-wise, which I think played a part in it.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, I think it was probably where their true pace was today, unfortunately, because I don't think that if the McLarens can't catch Max, then Max was never going to be their race. And if they can't catch Max, the McLarens would be the next people up the road and they couldn't catch them. So I think that was pretty much where they were, which is on the best day, they've got the McLarens, you know, ahead of them and maybe Max as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Tifosi can be too upset, because I don't think that with a race where it doesn't have loads, you know, you just get those races where everything's up in the air. There's all sorts going on. There's crashes, there's virtual safety cars, there's weather changes, it's dry to slick, slicks to dry. That sort of race can give you that variable of Ferrari could win, anyone could fucking win.
Yeah.
On a day like today where its true pace counts and the strategy is quite straightforward, which is a one-stop, what else could they have done? I think they did everything they could have done. I don't think they did anything drastically wrong today.
No.
They also did a good job keeping Russell between them.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of stayed stuck there the entire time. Lewis couldn't overtake him, but he still had a bit of space between him and Russell, and Russell couldn't get past Leclerc for the entirety of the race. I think he was stuck from about lap 10 or something up until the end. He was just stuck in P5 and he ended up finishing in P5.
For me, I think Max Verstappen, that's probably one of the best wins I've seen him have in a while.
And it was reminiscent of 2023, wasn't it? Just taking a long old charge down the road.
Yeah.
So far from everyone else that you can't see him in his mirrors.
Yeah, he just checked out. I thought it was fantastic. I'm being real. I mean, I've enjoyed watching Oscar and Lando race, but there's something about Max Verstappen that just adds a chaotic element to things. And where other people, you see the other racers come up against the McLarens and you kind of think like, you're not going to make a dent. When Max appears in those mirrors, you kind of feel like, oh, something might happen here.
Yeah.
Because he's got the sheer pace and the sheer will to get past them. And I kind of love that about him, if I'm being really honest. So thank God for him, because there was no one else that could have touched them pace-wise today.
Yeah.
And as soon as he scampered past, albeit with a bit of drama, which we love him for, he really did just check out. And then it became a game of strategy of who was going to blink first, because his tyres were blistered the house.
Yes.
My God.
Haven't seen that in a while, eh?
Look like me when I've gone out clubbing and I've been wearing heels all night.
Oh.
He blistered the house. Sorry for anyone that can't relate to that. By lap 27, Piastri's engineer was saying, considering plan A plus 15.
Yeah.
That's just dick swinging for no reason, because they knew that Max couldn't do. They got plus 15 to his delta. That basically means, can you do our plan we talked about plus 15 laps more on these tyres, which is crazy. So the Red Bull couldn't do that, but they managed to make it stick no matter.
Yeah. Well, because he built a very big gap
between
him and Norris, and then he was able to pit. So by the time that both the McLarens ended up pitting, it didn't affect his race.
Now, since we're in Italy and it's Ferrari's home race, I thought I would hit you with some Ferrari Monza history.
Ooh.
So, Monza opened its doors on the 3rd of September, 1922.
Okay.
Way before any of us were born.
Yep.
Yes, and way before F1 started.
Yeah.
That started in 1950.
Yeah, over 100 years.
Damn.
Monza has existed. As in the racetrack, not the town.
Yeah. No, we got you, girl, don't worry.
Good. So it opened just 1 week before the 1922 Grand Prix and was constructed in just 110 days.
Damn.
And is the third purpose-built racetrack, coming after Brooklands in the UK and Indianapolis in the US. And it was part of the original Formula One calendar in 1950 and has held the Italian Grand Prix every year except from one.
Ooh.
Ferrari has won the Italian Grand Prix at Monza a total of 21 times, which is more than any other constructor. And they won in 1951 and 52 with Alberto Ascari, 1960 and 61 with Phil Hill, 1964 with John Surtees, 1966 with Ludovico Scaraffiati, 1970 with Jackie Ickx, 1975 with Niki Lauda, who, as we know, their team was honouring today. 1979 with Jody Scheckter. 1988 with Gerard Berger. And then taking the title for the most Ferrari wins in Monza is, of course,
Charles Leclerc.
You are an idiot.
Michael Schumacher.
How am I supposed to know?
Michael Schumacher, who stood on the top step in 1996, 98, 2000, 2002 and 2006. Rubens Barrichello interrupted his win streak in 2003 and 2004, and he was Schumacher's teammate for Ferrari at the time. And as for people that are still on the grid now, Fernando Alonso won in 2010 for Ferrari, and Charles Leclerc has won for the team twice, once in 2019 and obviously last year in 2024. Who is Charles Leclerc's teammate this year?
Lewis Hamilton.
Yes, who actually ties Michael Schumacher's race win record in Monza, also with a total of 5 Grand Prix wins.
Damn.
And he has taken the top step at this race in 2012, 2014, 2015, 2017 and 2018.
What team did he race for in 2012?
McLaren.
Correct!
Well done.
What team
Thank
did he
you.
race for in 2014?
Mercedes.
Correct!
Thank you.
Well done.
What
And
about
all the ones after.
2015?
2015 Mercedes.
16?
Mercedes.
17?
Mercedes.
18?
Mercedes.
19?
Mercedes.
20?
COVID.
20? He raced for COVID, did he?
No, there was no racing.
Yes, there was. He won the championship that year.
Mercedes.
They set up a COVID team and Lewis Hamilton moved from Mercedes over to COVID. 21,
Mercedes.
22,
Mercedes.
23,
Mercedes.
24,
Mercedes.
25.
Ferrari. But he didn't win.
Ooh,
Oh.
no. Well, no one's won yet.
In 25.
No
In
one's
Monza.
won. Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought you meant the championship.
Hello, we just watched the race. What are you
So,
talking
no,
about?
yeah, sorry, no, me. I'm being unclear.
So there's your history.
Nice.
I don't have any more for you. Stop looking at me so expectantly.
Why was it open in 1922 before F1 existed? What
Because there
the
was
purpose?
a lot of racing going on that were individual championships and small little races, but there wasn't a inaugural proper world championship that people could enter into.
Just doing it for
Okay.
laughs, basically.
Okay.
A lot like smaller little tracks and smaller venues that did their own little racing and championships before they decided to make it the F1 calendar.
There's also one more piece of history about Monza.
Okay.
It's the first F1 race that both of you attended
That's
in
not true.
person. In person.
That's not true.
That both of you attended.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
Please,
no, again,
please,
sorry, I'm so sorry.
please
I apologise.
listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
That both of us attended together.
Together.
Yeah.
But also, even just saying both of you is still factual.
Yeah, but I've also been to another race.
Okay. We're not talking about that.
Huh?
We're not talking about that.
I went to Silverstone in 2016.
Okay.
No, well, actually, statistically, someone will care. And it
Reem-
might be my mum.
Doubt
Reem,
it.
what were you doing last year while we were in Monza?
I ordered Italian food because you guys were in Italy, so
Tell me you have FOMO without telling me. You sad woman.
What did you get, Pastor Evangelist?
yeah. And I was on video call with you, Nav, and you were asleep due to heat wave.
Yeah.
Due to
heat wave.
Due to heat stroke. Due to heat stroke.
Due to heat wave. We had the best maritozzo.
The buns.
Yeah, the buns.
Yeah, I'm a bastard Brit. I don't know what you're
Fake
talking about.
vegan. Lewis Hamilton would be disappointed.
I wasn't vegan at the time.
Yeah, but you're now talking
Don't
about vegan.
listen. Don't tell people she's vegan.
She's already said that on the podcast.
She wants
before.
fans. Maybe that's why.
She said it. Oh,
You know who I was proud of this race?
Who?
Hadji the Great.
Haji the Great.
Hey.
No.
What?
Haji the Cute.
Oh yeah, sorry. Brain's not switched on. Isaac Hadger finished in P10.
He got a point.
He got a
The
point.
bare
He
minimum.
had a point to prove because he started in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Because he took a new engine part and stuff. But he also didn't have great pace. So they decided, okay, you've had a bit of a pooey qualifying.
Pooper.
For those who have watched Ted Lasso, you'll understand. To those who don't, we're immature. He had a bad qualifying, so they decided, okay, let's use this opportunity to get you a new engine, which might be a bit more spicy as he goes around the streets of the speedy circuit that's Monza. Well done to him. He's
Yeah.
such a fun racer. I like watching Isaac Hadjar race.
Same. Yeah.
He's just intriguing and exciting and cutesy.
And he could have easily gotten in his head after getting a podium last week and then being out of qualifying in Q1 and then starting in the pit lane. I feel like he very easily could have just let that ruin his race. But the fact that he managed to get at least 1 point while Liam Lawson was not even in the points, his teammate, is very, very impressive. And I think he should be very proud of himself.
I agree. I think he did fantastically.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's slowly emerging as maybe the top rookie at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Gabriel Bortoletto, he also started very
Call
well.
him by his name.
Gabby
the Great!
He started very well. He qualified in P8, so he made it all the way to Q3. He finished in P8,
Very nice.
so he's also done very well.
Yes. You know what rookie did not do too well?
Antonelli.
Ollie Behrman.
Ollie Behrman.
Yeah.
Ollie Behrman and Kimi Antonelli are the boys at the back that are misbehaving, I reckon.
I know.
And Lawson.
Mm.
He's in P14.
But Ollie Behrman got himself a 10-second time penalty this race.
He
Yeah.
did, he did.
For his collision with Carlos Sainz.
Yes.
Now, Carlos Sainz had managed to get his car ahead of Behrman on an apex and was quite clearly ahead, and that means that Sainz then, basically that corner is his, he can do what he wants with it. And Behrman decided to just not give him space to take that corner, crashed into the side of him, spun Sainz around, got knocked about himself, and, you know, got himself a 10-second time penalty. But do you remember, slightly earlier in the season, we were talking about a race ban for a Max Verstappen? And,
Yeah.
Yes.
if he picked up another penalty point, he would get himself on the
It
chopping
was
block.
after Barcelona, wasn't it?
Mm.
Where it all happened between him and George, where he just
Yeah.
clonked into the side
Yep.
of George.
And he had 2 races where he had to really behave himself.
And
Yep.
he did.
He
God bless
did.
his soul.
Yes. Well, Ollie Behrman is now the F1 driver with the closest risk to a race ban.
How many points has he got?
10 penalty points to his name.
Holy
Naughty
shit.
boy.
Yes.
Anyway, I hated the way I said that, sorry. Sorry.
Bit creepy.
He got
All right, thank you.
he got 2 penalty points for this collision.
Yikes.
Ooh.
So he has until November's Brazilian Grand Prix to behave very, very well. So he has to behave himself for the next 4 races, basically.
I
Not
think he
get
will.
2 penalty
He's
points.
just excitable. I mean, yes, the way he drove was a bit erratic. Yes, it caused Carlos Sainz to go spinning like a ballerina on the track, but I think he's got panache.
Would you like a breakdown, like how we gave for Max, on how Ollie Behrman got himself all of his penalty points?
Yes, and
Yes.
we'll call him Grand Prick or Prick.
Okay.
Grand Prick meaning icon, and Prick meaning
But this week it should be Grande Prick.
Grande Pricco.
Grande Prick.
You have to sing it, oh, grande prick.
Okay, fine.
The first 2 points came during the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2024 for causing a collision with Franco Colapinto.
Big dick energy. Oh, Grande Prick.
I didn't watch that, so I have no comment.
Just
Grande Prick.
thank you.
Wonderful. The next one was Monaco this year, with our 2-stop
Yes.
Mickey Mouse race.
Mm-hmm.
Overtaking under red flags in practice, 2 points.
Prick. I think you can't be overtaking on red flags. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that is wild.
That literally means stop
Yeah.
racing.
It's not big, it's not clever, and that's prick.
Yeah.
Prick.
The next one, 4 points
Oi, oi.
from the British Grand Prix this year, crashing under red flags during practice.
Was that when he got the 10th place grid penalty?
I believe so. So there was red flags for another incident, and he was still moving mad and managed to crash himself.
Grande Prick for how he made up for it.
Why?
It didn't ruin his weekend. He started qualifying with a 10th place grid penalty, and then he still managed to qualify very well.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
Like,
I
that
see
was a very impressive weekend for him. So for me, that was a Grande Prick moment.
What's happened to your accent?
Grande Prick.
Grande prick.
Fair enough. Okay. And then, of course, we have now the Italian Grand Prix causing a collision with Carlos Sainz, 2 points.
Prick!
Is that just because your man's is associated?
I mean, it was reckless. I think it's actually quite nasty.
I think it was a bit of a sloppy one, so I'm going to say prick.
Yeah.
If he did it with more pizzazz or panache, I'd be there, but I think it was a bit sloppy.
Mhm. But,
Yeah.
I mean, 8 points this year already. 8 points in this year's races.
He's a bit like his teammate Ocon, in that he seems very friendly and very nice, and they both seem very polite and lovely, and they get in the
And then
car
suddenly
and
it's
they
bumper
are a
cars.
fucking, they're fucking menace. So,
Well, I mean, they're in a Haas car. They're like, we've got nothing to lose. We're not anywhere near winning a driver
Smiling
or Constructors'
assassins.
Championship. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, still, I mean, my God, you wouldn't want to go up against them, would you, in like a game of Monopoly? I feel like they'd be like, haha, I'm going to win, and you'd be like, ha! So, Also, his teammate Ocon got a 5-second time penalty. So
sake.
sorry, the bad boys of F1 are clearly Ocon and Behrman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool kids.
Although Sainz must be so sick of the rookies.
Yeah.
Dutch Grand Prix had the incident with Lawson that caused him a 10-second penalty.
Yep.
And then this week it's
Well,
with
no,
Behrman.
for that he should be sick of himself.
No, because everyone in the comments, by the way, we posted a social clip about our little debate from that episode, and everyone was on my side.
Yeah.
Everyone supported me, saying Sainz wasn't the one in the wrong, it was Lawson. So
Bunch
anyway,
of science
he
simps,
must-
I reckon.
There were some rude comments and I did not approve. I'm all for a laugh, but don't call Nav stupid.
Fair.
Wait, someone called me stupid?
They said anyone that thinks that it was Science's fault is stupid. So,
Only I could call you stupid.
go on then.
Stupid.
Why did you sound scared of me? I'm not threatening.
Mm.
Also, there was someone that commented on the post about Kimi Antonelli as well. Who
What?
we obviously posted a clip as well about how we were praising Antonelli so much and he's, had a bit of a fall from grace, blah, blah, blah. We didn't say anything bad in this clip, but someone commented on it saying, bro, he's just a kid. Yeah, bro, he's just a kid with a $3 million salary and an expectation to score points for his team. So,
Yeah, well, for context, Nav sent that as something to apply to the comment with at about like 3 a.m. And I think we both read it the next morning and we were like, we're just gonna ignore.
Just know if there's like a critical comment and there's no reply, it's because Nav has like vim she wants to get off her chest and we're like, let's leave it.
I have insomnia and I get frustrated when I can't sleep.
That's fair enough.
Now, there's one more rookie that I would like to talk about today, but it is not to do with his racing. It's about his bit that he's doing for his fans. Any guesses?
Lawson?
No.
Someone we haven't talked about?
Yeah.
Who am I missing?
Oh, I don't really like Pepsi.
Coca.
Colapinto.
Nice. Now, last year, Colapinto, while racing...
He existed.
I feel like we're having the exact same conversation. I'm pretty sure I've done this like Q and you said the same thing.
Now, last year, Colapinto, while racing for Williams, made comments that the official merchandise could bankrupt F1 fans in his home country of Argentina. He said, and I quote, "The only thing I hope is that they don't go bankrupt buying F1 merchandise. Williams sets a price that not even Cristiano Ronaldo could buy. Then the Argentinians go crazy and make them out of stock. They leave them without stock, and then we're eating rice for 2 months, dude. Buy the fake stuff, the cheap ones." So,
Oh, I love that.
yeah, basically encouraging fans to buy knockoff merch rather than paying the premium prices that the teams are setting for their merch. I'm on his side.
I'm on his fucking side. And make the fucking t-shirts oversized.
Yeah,
I don't want
yes.
this fucking sport shit.
And the hoodies.
I don't want
Yep.
them clinging to my childbearing hips. Well, I haven't got kids, but I'm just saying I'm a woman. Lots of them, okay.
It's all that slim fit nonsense.
Women don't like slim fit.
Yeah.
We like crop tops and we like baggy t-shirts. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Slim fit on my hips, go fuck yourself. I want to eat something during that day.
Yeah.
So I don't want it. Give
Yeah.
me a baggy t-shirt. And then I see Lewis Hamilton wearing baggy t-shirts all the fucking time. I don't see any of his collections. What's going on here, people?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm with you on this.
I'm passionate.
And actually, my mum and my sister were in the O2 in London, and they have like a shopping area in it, and they had what was marketed as the F1 merch outlet store. And so they went in there and they were like sending me pics of like different team merch and stuff like that. And there was one thing that I wanted in particular, and they sent me the picture, and I was just like, oh, cool, how much is it? Thinking, it's in an outlet store, it'll be nice and cheap. It was more expensive than on the official team site.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Tell me how that works.
That's crazy. Also, we'll reveal what team it is on our Patreon.
We don't have a Patreon and we're never going to. But maybe we should if we want to be able to afford F1 merch.
Yeah.
No, it
it is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the you get Instagram ads where they have like basically like almost like fan apparel that people have made, and they've set up their own like merch stalls and
like
stuff
Redbubble
online.
and
Yeah,
Etsy
a
and
lot
shit.
of that shit is so much nicer
So
as well,
good.
and it's cool. It's more streetwear athleisure vibe.
She's going to talk about the t-shirt she got you for your birthday.
Oh.
For anyone who's interested, I got his for her birthday this year. On Etsy, there's someone selling a Barbie pink t-shirt with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc sitting in a Barbie car with a title saying "It's Race Week," and it is iconic.
It is iconic.
It is
iconic.
so
Completely
funny.
iconic. But today, I'm Versatile Queen. I'm also wearing a hat cap.
Yes. That my mum got you for your birthday.
We're
And you have a
revealing
Kick
far too much.
Sauber t-shirt. You flip-flop.
I'm a Glory supporter.
When Hulkenberg was on that podium, that t-shirt came out, and it's never come out since.
It is now a dishcloth.
What?
I meant to say dishcloth. I think I said dickcloth. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, the t-shirt that I was interested in getting, I also saw that it's available on ASOS, and I was thinking, hello, Klarna split in 3. Anyway, attempting to address this issue of very expensive merch, Alpine's parent company, Renault, has launched a
Didn't like that. just for the record.
has launched a fake collection of official merchandise in Argentina. The royalty-free collection of logos, photos, illustrations, and stickers has been released to allow fans to download them and create their own merch. The launch signals that a split between Colapinto and Alpine is unlikely anytime soon, because why would they, launch a whole site for Colapinto if he's going to get kicked out of his seat?
Because all they're doing is releasing some logos. Why don't they release some cheaper fucking merch? Am I living in an alternate reality? Sorry. I thought it was a really wholesome story where they brought out the fake collection, which was a plainer version of it
No.
that still had a logo. They've just given them some downloadable photos and stickers and illustrations.
Have you looked
It's
at
a
it?
DIY
No.
project.
Give it a goog. Just Google the originals fake collection. Reem, come around to my screen to have a look. So you can just download this sort of stuff. And it's basically just a way to get the Renault logo out, even though it's Alpine, not Renault.
It's a bit ugly.
That is a graphic designer's really hard work there that you're insulting.
Okay, I mean, I like that they've good on Colapinto for speaking out and saying what everyone else is fucking thinking, because
Yeah.
regardless whether you're in Argentina or anywhere else, it's very expensive. Because F1 has become so popular now, like vintage t-shirts of different teams are so expensive. They can go up to the hundreds, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So good on him for actually speaking out and saying what we're all thinking, which I ain't got the money for this crap. And I like that it comes with a level of national pride as well, to say, like, this isn't cool. I don't want people to be spending all their money on this and not having the essentials that they need just because they want to support me. He's a king for that. I love that. But just create a fucking a lower down priced version for people in Argentina. Just as a limited edition one.
Yeah.
Just give them one drop. You're Renault. You make cars and shit. Like, come on.
Or launch a new t-shirt and then say the first 150 people to buy this get it with a 75% discount or whatever.
Make it a merch moment. Also, they could have given them these downloadable things, run a competition. We're going to have a fan edit this, and whoever has the best fan edit will do a limited drop, and it'll be reduced to a price that people can afford.
Yeah.
Done. That's how you really do it.
Now, I'm currently on the Renault Argentina website looking at their merch, and the Alpine F1 Polo black sweatshirt, size small, is priced at, now remember this is Argentinian dollars, 150,798,
Oh, they've got a lot of inflation. Damn.
which is equivalent to 81 Great British pounds.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah.
That's expensive for no reason.
They do give you the option to split the price in 3.
Well, that
Great.
makes it better.
Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive sport to love. There's absolutely no fucking lie about it. But I think that is steep. But
Yeah.
I'm also really glad that at least he's bringing exposure to it. It's not up to him how much the prices of stuff is. It's up to Renault to have maybe extended the olive branch a little bit further than a free downloadable pack, because they could just
Yeah.
Google pictures of Colapinto.
Now,
But
they do have fake stuff that is available to buy. Not clothes. You can buy a fake cup with a straw, a fake water bottle, a fake notebook.
Just go on Etsy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, just go on Etsy.
Honestly, Etsy's actually goated for merch.
But for a fake water bottle, you would be paying 44,000 Argentinian dollars, which is equivalent to £2.
Nice.
That's actually not too bad.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
a water bottle, that is quite good.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm still a bit. I think it's kind
It's,
of my
it's a
opinion.
step in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah, but I feel like when there's so much money in F1, like they could have just done that, and it would have warmed the hearts of a lot of fans.
Yeah.
And for people that's like, Colapinto is one of their people that is on the grid and is representing their country, it's a big deal. So
Yeah.
when you come from places that you don't have that level of privilege and that level of money and sponsorship and backing, when you have one of your own on the grid, you want to support them. Similar to how Ferrari is with, the Tifosi and stuff. They're so dedicated. They'll be the same over there. So be nice if they could have more affordable merch. But,
Yeah.
the capitalist world we live in.
Hey, Reem,
Hey, Nav.
did you know that
Hey,
today...
Izzy.
Oh. Shh. Did you know that today is National Buy a Book Day?
I did not know that.
What was the last book that you read?
50 Shades, what?
I don't know.
Yellowface.
Oh, yeah.
That was over a year ago.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the last book that I read was Sir Lewis, and you're listening to an audiobook about F1 at the moment?
Yes, it's called Formula.
Nice.
Yeah.
Self-explanatory.
Stopped listening to the Adrian Newey one. It was a bit dull. So, I'm trying a different one.
What was that, like how to design a car or something?
Yeah, it was. I think it's going to get more interesting when he gets to racing, but he's talking about his childhood quite a lot. I'm like, okay, I don't really care that much. So, I got recommended this book, Formula, by someone that I work with, and she said that apparently it's supposedly one of the best books ever written about Formula One. So,
Nice.
it goes across the whole history of it. So, I will report back with anything that I learn from the book.
Wonderful. Well, Reem, now that you're an F1 fan, you would classify yourself as this, yes?
Yeah.
Well, now that you're an F1 fan, I think it's time you start reading some F1 books.
Okay.
And to help you find the right one, I've pulled some excerpts from a little website called Wattpad.
What are we doing? We've got so far from the race. We went to Bella Ciao cover to talk about merge, to talking about bugs. What's this podcast
Okay,
about?
fine. We're not the most informative F1 podcast, but we don't care, okay? We bring pizzazz.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Wattpad is, Reem, can you explain it?
You're on there all the time.
No, I'm not. It's a website where people can basically write their own stories, most of the time using real life people as the characters and uploading it online for people to read. And often it inspires movies.
What?
Like, such as the movie 50 Shades was inspired by a One Direction when
No,
apparently...
Twilight.
Twilight?
Yeah.
I thought it was 50 Shades.
No.
50 Shades was Twilight
What are you
fanfic.
saying?
Oh, 50 Shades is a Twilight one. I think the movie after, and the one that's with Anne Hathaway as well, was inspired by a One Direction one.
Blimey. Okay. Yeah, it's essentially fanfic, right?
Yeah.
And look, everyone...
It's actually smut fanfic.
Not all.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I take that back.
It's deep.
If we're being honest, the inspiration from this segment on this podcast that you are having to listen to is I've been seeing a lot of this on X and it's been creeping into my algorithm. And I've also been getting a lot of things of screenshots that people have made that is like a story and a thread of different screenshots of them talking to their favourite F1 driver. But it takes a romantic stance of the storyline. And it kept coming up. And I was like, I didn't realise there was an element to this Formula One fandom that people were doing this. So we've looked into it. So there
And
you
look, everyone has their own hobbies, okay?
Whatever
So-
floats your goat. We're not
Exactly.
kink shaming here.
No, we're not kink shaming.
might be in a
we're not.
However, if you are into this, Wattpad might be where you need to head after this podcast.
Exactly.
So
So the first story is called Muse.
Okay.
And the synopsis is: the entire world knows Zhang Yuxin for what she does best, writing love songs. Every single song she puts out is able to relate to someone out there, and it leaves fans wondering if she's got a special someone in mind when writing. With the release of her new album and eagle-eyed fans reading into her relationship with Formula One driver Lando Norris, it leaves the world wondering if the McLaren driver is the one she's singing about. After all, every artist does have their muse.
okay, we've got a few of these. Should we rank them at the end?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to read you like a couple of bits from chapters.
Okay.
Chapter 3 of this muse is You like Lando? Carlos startles Yuxin as she scrolls through her phone looking at the Ferrari driver in surprise. Even under the fluorescent lights of the club, he can see the red tint on her cheeks. What? She sputters out, and Carlos looks at her with a deadpan expression. Don't act like I didn't listen to your album. So all this time, I was right? All this time you were joking, she replies, crossing her arms. She tries not to make eye contact with Carlos, but then she finds her eyes wandering towards Lando, and Carlos notices. He looks at her with a small smile. Hey, for what it's worth, I wouldn't have said that stuff if I thought you two wouldn't be cute together. He's dense. It would never work out because he'll never find out. I think you made it really obvious with the new songs. Charles is dense, and even he knew.
Oh.
Poor Charles, kind of catching smoke. The Monegasque turns his head at the sound of his name. Shut up, Carlos, he says, flipping his teammate off. Carlos rolls his eyes before returning his focus to Yuxin. So what are you going to do then? Sit here and wait until you start to feel nothing for him? Yeah, pretty much. It's what I've been doing for the past few years. And you can't write a single song that's not about him. Those are your words, not mine, he replies, referencing Yuxin's new song as she sighs, taking a sip of the drink in her hand. It'll never happen. He probably doesn't want it to. And I don't want to lose him. I'd rather sit here hoping for something to happen instead of pouring my heart out to him and risking our friendship, she replies. Chapter 19.
Oh?
Lando is drinking a lot more than he usually does, Carlos finds. Something seems to have happened, perhaps something between him... Yeah?
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
Can you add accents?
I can try.
Please.
Translation, I'm really into this. Your lack of accent is taking me out of the narrative. Could you please make this more real for me as it's revolving my favourite man, Carlos Sainz?
Okay. Something seems to have happened, perhaps something between him and Camilla, because Carlos really can't find another reason as to why Lando's been drinking so much tonight. Or perhaps it's something to do with Yuxin. Either way, Carlos feels like he's got to take away the drink in Lando's hand because at this rate he'll be throwing up non-stop tomorrow morning. Daniel looks at Lando with concern, eyebrows raised as he watches Lando finish another drink. Another one, he says, his words slurred as he looks into the distance dazedly.
Who the fuck was that meant to be?
Drunk Lando.
Right, okay.
Is he okay? Daniel asks as Carlos shrugs. Lando, are you good?
Oh my god, that was actually quite good.
Carlos asks, patting the younger boy on the back. So good. Not bad, Lando says, his sudden cherry expression turning into one of sadness. Why? Broke up. Camilla. No more, Lando replies, and Daniel and Carlos look at each other with wide eyes. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man, but why don't we lay off the drink for a little bit? Daniel suggests, dragging Lando away from the bar. The British boy frowns, pouting, as Daniel leads him towards some seats. Chapter 37. We're jumping ahead in the story, you know. You're smiling like an idiot, Yuxin comments, noticing the look on his face. He reaches his hand out to hold hers, warmth blooming across his chest at the contact. You tend to have that kind of effect on me. You know you do, right? I don't know what Lando is. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? I'm British. Can I just do my own voice for Lando?
Why would you not have done that from the beginning?
He has a bit of like a nasally, like back of the throat kind of voice. You tend to have that effect on me. You do know that, right? Yuxin replies, and you say that I'm the one who's obsessed with you.
You went from an American accent to just a girly accent.
I didn't remember what I did.
Why did my accent?
Why did you do my accent? Okay, I'll do it like that from now on, shall I? How many songs are written about me again? He asks, his tone teasing. I can't seem to recall. I hate you, she groans. You love me, he says, matter-of-factly, kissing her cheek.
Matter-of-factly?
Yes, that's what it says. I'm just reading here, Reem.
It's not a comedy. Why are you laughing at grammar, you loser?
I don't remember saying that, she jokes. Yuxin's face is pink as she places more of her belongings into her suitcase, and Lando takes one of the storage bags that Yuxin uses to place her clothes in. That's so mean. Maybe I should keep this so you stay, he says, and Yuxin shrugs. I have more clothes, you know, she replies. I'll hide your luggage, then you won't leave. You're very clingy, she says, and he wraps his arms around her waist, pulling her closer. I know, but I won't see you for a whole month. I just found out that you're in love with me, and now you're leaving me, he replies, and Yuxin chuckles. Very resting her head against against his chest. You could have figured it out much, much earlier, she replies. I'll call you every day, and I'll definitely come to the first race of the season. I won't miss it. She leans in and gives Lando a kiss before pulling away with a soft smile. Can you do that again? He asks, and Yuxin rolls her eyes jokingly, but leans in again, nevertheless. And as her lips are on his once more, Lando knows that he's addicted to her, and being addicted to something, or rather someone, has never felt so good. Now, I haven't included all of the story because it's quite long. As you know, that was chapter 37.
No, just 3 chapters.
But just, I read ahead just so that I could get a gist of where the story goes. They get married, have a baby together called Marina, clearly inspired by the Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore.
So my question is,
Mm-hmm.
besides their names,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly is F1 related about this?
The people.
Okay.
And he's obviously racing. He said that I'm not going to see you for a month, and she said I'll come to the first race.
They don't have time for this shit.
They have relationships.
Yeah, but I don't think they have time. I don't think they have time for a back and forth.
They have relationships, just no conversations within it.
Max is an actual father and a long-time committed partner. What are you talking about?
That was interesting.
Okay, do you want to take the second one?
The next book is called Cool Down. Oh my god, I feel like I'm in CBeebies when, like Tom Hardy reads an audiobook.
You're doing CBeebies bedtime stories.
In the high-stakes world of Formula One, where precision is everything and emotions are liabilities, Oceana, a brilliant yet reserved Ferrari race engineer, keeps her head down and her past guarded. But the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton joins the team. The cool distance she's maintained begins to blur. Their connection is subtle glances across the garage, private jokes shared during pit stops, and quiet conversations on long flights, but beneath the surface of tyre strategies and engine data simmers something more. Something neither of them dares to name. As secrets unfold and trust is tested under the intense pressure of race weekends, Oceana finds herself caught in a slow-burning dance with a man used to winning. But in this race, hearts are on the line, and there's no guarantee of a podium finish. Cool Down is a captivatingly slow-burn romance that blends high-speed adrenaline with tender moments of vulnerability set against the glittering, gritty backdrop of international racing. Honestly, kind of sold. Already sounds better than the F1 movie. We skip...
It basically is the F1 movie.
Good God.
Plagiarism.
We jump to chapter 10. Lewis met her eyes again, but this time her smile was quieter.
Go on, Lewis accent.
He's British, no?
But he has that British-American twang.
You're full of surprises, you know that?
That wasn't bad.
Thank you. Oceana tilted her head. What accent would you like Oceana to have?
I like a
Manchester.
Fish. Oh.
Why have you said like a fish?
Ocean.
George, you're going to fucking do a fucking whale.
Or French.
What?
Yes, do it like a whale. Do Scouse.
Okay. Like what? Like hiding sentimental philosophy under the layers of engineering spreadsheets? She laughed. Guess I need to keep you on your toes, Hamilton. He gave a mock sigh. That nickname is too long. Fine, she said with a grin. How about Hammy? He winced. Please no. I have enough memes to deal with. Okay. She leaned back, thoughtful. Lou, simple, clean, personal. I feel like I'm reading the story with this full accent.
I love it.
Lewis raised his eyebrow. Lou, huh? You don't like it? He smiled, warm, genuine. I do. We jump now to chapter 17. I feel like I'm doing a sermon. Turn your Bibles to page 17. The moment slowed. The towel moved slower now. The towel? Sorry, like a teenage girl.
Would you like me to contextualise this?
Oh no, is it not sexy?
No, he had paint on his face.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I thought he came out of the shower. Do you know something really off-piece but random?
Yeah.
I tried to read 50 Shades of Grey when it was like at its peak of like, oh my god, everyone's reading this book. When people would read it like openly, like on the trains and stuff. I stopped reading when it was written that his dick exploded from his from his shorts, and I was like, that's
Exploded.
yeah, it
from
was like
his
sprung
shorts.
out of his shorts. The idea of it was just so like, it sounded horrific to me that I was like, that's terrible writing. That the towel moved slower now. Much better writing. I was intrigued. We don't have to talk about. We can remove this. Okay.
No.
Okay. Her hand was resting against his cheek, her thumb brushing just under his eye as she caught the last of the paint. He was still, watching her, breathing slowly. She could feel the warmth of his breath now. Sorry. Her hand dropped to the table, the towel slipping from her fingers. She didn't pull away. His eyes stayed on her, unreadable, but full. He leaned in a little, stopped, watched her. She didn't move. His voice was a whisper. Can I? Her throat tightened. She gave the smallest nod. He moved slowly, deliberately, closing the distance between them. His hand came up and slid into her hair, gently gathering it as he tilted his head. Then, without rushing, without a single ounce of hesitation, he kissed her. Soft. Like he'd been holding it in for months. His fingers at the back of her head gripped gently, like he needed the anchor. His lips moved over hers with aching tenderness, no urgency, just care. She kissed him back. It wasn't just the kind of kiss that needed to prove something. It was the kind that felt like coming up for air. When he pulled back, barely an inch between them, their foreheads touched. She didn't open her eyes. He didn't let go of her hair. For a long moment, they stayed like that. No words, no explanations. Just breathing. Just being.
Damn.
How can you tell Reem's single?
No need. We all are.
That's all you're getting for that one.
I think that why am I not?
You read that really well. I'm
Thank
sad
you.
that we couldn't get more of the Scouse accent. Oh God, I have to do an accent here. I don't know how I'm going to do this accent. Okay, finally we have Design His Wings.
I think that's the best title.
You're going to do a Dutch accent.
We'll see. The synopsis for this is: he races for Red Bull. She designs his wings. Falling for each other? That wasn't on the grid. She's the aerodynamicist every team wants. He's the driver no one can catch. What starts as flirty banter in the garage turns into late nights, stolen glances, and attention that no diffuser can fix. Love doesn't follow regulations, and neither does Max Verstappen.
Oh my God, if he was on Hinge, that should so be his fucking bio. Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Okay, we are starting with Chapter 2. You're freezing. It's late in the garage. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones despite the fact that it's supposed to be summer in Australia. The sun's long gone, and most of the team has cleared out, but you're still here, wrapped in your thin Red Bull hoodie. That's another thing, merchandise people. They're thin.
Imagine, why have they dragged Red Bull's merch like that? You're in some thin, raggedy-ass fucking hoodie. Doesn't keep you fucking warm.
Not even their merch, their uniform.
That's crazy.
She's on the team. Kneeling beside the rear suspension, staring at pressure maps that don't quite make sense. You hear him before you see him. Footsteps. Quiet, quick, familiar. You look up, and there he is. I'm sorry, I see a ChatGPT hyphen here.
Oh.
Max. Hair a little damp from the shower. Hoodie sleeves shoved halfway up his forearms. One hand deep in his pocket, the other holding a water bottle. He raises an eyebrow. You're always the last one here.
Why is he Lenny from Of Mice and Men?
It's a bit of a lisp.
Yeah, but that's not what you just did. You made him sound like he has no brain cells.
You're always the last one here.
What are you doing?
I don't know how to do a Dutch
Okay,
accent.
remove the fact he has a list. He literally can't help that. But just do the Dutch accent.
What the fuck is a Dutch accent?
If you say, yeah, we had a good pace today. We had a good pace, but we couldn't catch them.
You're always the last one here.
Okay, I'm gonna get a clip of Max talking. Just
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just run with
you
it.
do the narration, you do the accent.
Okay,
I'll
fine.
do the girl. You do Max.
Pause. Sunday night plan sorted.
All right, go on.
You're always the last one here.
You shrug. Only when the car isn't cooperating.
Reba's in heaven right now.
His eyes flick to your screen, then to the floor assembly.
You still working on the diffuser stall?
Yeah, it's better than FP1, but I think the high-speed corners are bleeding pressure again. He hums, a low sound, thoughtful. Then, after a beat,
Aren't you cold?
you blink. What? He nods towards your hoodie.
You look cold.
You're not sure how to answer that. No one's ever noticed that before, especially not him. I mean,
Bare minimum.
a little, you admit. But I'm okay. He tosses his water bottle lightly onto the table and unzips his team jacket. Then, without saying a word, he hands it to you. You stare at it, then at him. Max, I'm fine.
Just take it.
He says, looking not at you, but at the car.
Can't have my aero engineer catching hypothermia. Who would fix my floor then?
He's teasing. Barely. But he makes your face warm. You take the jacket, slipping it on.
The jacket. You take the jacket, slipping it up.
It's too big. Smells like fuel, fabric softener, and something else you can't place. Thanks, you murmur. He shrugs.
Don't mention it.
But when you look up again, he's already glancing at you with that same unreadable expression he always wears. Half distracted, half curious. You go back to work. He lingers. You're crouched beside the rear wing when suddenly he speaks again.
You like this job?
The question catches you off guard. You look up. What? Engineering? He nods. You smile a little. I love it, even when it makes me crazy. He doesn't smile back, but there's something softer in the way he watches you. Maybe, like he understands.
Good.
He says.
You're good at it.
You freeze, then quietly. Thank you. He nods once, like he didn't just say something that'll echo in your head for the rest of the week. When he finally leaves, the jacket still around your shoulders, you don't stop him. You just sit there, with your heart fluttering a little faster than it should. And maybe, you let yourself hope. We're now going to chapter 11.
Oh, wow.
Checo sighs.
Just ask her to hang out, go for coffee, look at the clouds, I don't know, bond.
Max scowls.
I don't know how to be normal about this. Then don't.
Checo shrugs.
You don't do normal. You do intense, obsessive, weirdly focused, so use that.
GP grins. Exactly. Weaponize the crush, Verstappen. So he makes a plan. A dumb one. He finds her during lunch break, tucked into the corner of the motorhome, headphones in, laptop open, face all scrunched up like she's trying to recode aerodynamics from scratch. He taps the table. She looks up. Instantly, something warm flickers in her eyes, like she's happy to see him, like yesterday wasn't just in his head.
I have a question.
He says, sitting before she can say no. She raises an eyebrow. Shoot.
What do you do on race weekends when you're not here?
She shrugs. Sleep? Eat? Overanalyze? Panic about brake balance?
Remove the panic about brake balance, that's you.
Sleep, eat, overanalyze.
Yeah.
He nods, pretending to be thoughtful.
Okay, so no plans tonight?
She raises her eyebrows. Why?
Because
Max says, trying to keep his voice even.
I thought maybe you'd want to come with me to a karting track, the one outside the paddock.
She blinks. Are you asking me to go karting with you?
Yes.
Just us?
Yes.
Is this a date? Max swallows.
Not if you don't want it to be.
She tilts her head. And if I do? His heart does something terrifying and permanent.
Then yeah.
He says quietly.
It is.
Chapter 21. Instead, he tilted his head and added,
I'm still waiting for your pickup line, by the way.
She blinked. What?
You heard me. You walked all the way here. Where's my smooth line?
She stared at him for a beat. Then, oh, sorry, I thought you were skipping foreplay. Max choked. She looked away, too smug about it.
You're evil.
He said, is that your line?
No, mine's better.
He leaned in again, just enough to make her breath catch.
I like my engineers like I like my cars.
Oh, no.
Fast, smart, and always a little too hot to handle.
She laughed. Loud and surprised and completely unfiltered, like she couldn't believe he actually said it. And God, could he listen to that sound for hours. That was the worst pickup line ever, she wiped at her eyes. You're such a menace.
You bring it out in me.
The end. Well, not the end, but the end of the excerpts that I've got.
Wow.
Which one was your favourite?
Well, it's hard to choose.
Okay, so the first
So many
one,
options.
The first one is called Muse.
Mm-hmm.
That was Lando falling in love with the songwriter who was writing songs about him.
The second one that we had for you was Cool Down.
Which was the engineer who falls in love with Lewis Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
And the one we've just read, which was Design His Wings.
The aerodynamicist who falls in love with Max Verstappen.
I think I have to say the second one.
Cool Down.
Cool Down was
Cool
your favourite.
Down, yeah.
Okay.
Why did you like it?
I liked the delivery.
Thank you.
I liked the build-up of the relationship.
Okay.
I thought the first one was a bit childish.
Mhm.
The third one has potential. That's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, just to let you know, I spent my entire morning reading these fanfics, basically skimming through, just trying to find the most interesting chapters that I could pull, which would still give away some of the story, but not too much. And I mean, the first one, I will say, Muse, on like chapter 37 was like when they had just found out that they liked each other, and by chapter 40, they were married. And by chapter 50, they had Marina, their child. So
I find it, if I'm honest with you, like, I mean, obviously, I came up with this because I'd seen loads of these rather strange sort of screenshots and stuff. But I mean, listen, people love F1 drivers. It is what it is. They're basically celebrities. They do the same thing with every celebrity. It's just funny to me because I've followed F1 for so many years and this has never been what the fandom is like. So reading them was very funny. My favourite one was Cool Down. And then second to that is Design His Wings, and the last one being Muse. But they're not as smutty as I worried they might have been. So I actually don't think they're hurting anybody.
now I'm not going to lie to you. I got bored reading Cool Down.
Oh?
Just because it was like a lot slower than the other two. The other two like had the progression a lot quicker, whereas with Cool Down, chapter 17, they were having their first kiss.
Okay.
And like on chapter like 3, it was the summer break, and he for some reason showed up at her house in Umbria and was just like, oh, I just want to be away from people. And she basically acted like an Airbnb host and was making him breakfast every morning and stuff like that. But it was like very slow, and I basically just got a bit bored.
Oh,
Fair.
So I don't know how that story ends.
okay. Well, our audience can have a look it up, and they can read off and let us know how it ended.
Yeah.
But there you go. You just never know what's going to happen in the world of F1 nowadays. The
And
fandom is just doing all sorts.
You also just never know what's going to happen in an episode of Grand Prix.
No, you really fucking don't. So
I
don't
did not
ever...
think that my morning was going to be spent reading Wattpad stories.
Did you get a bit flustered listening to any of those?
No.
Why are you laughing like that though?
No. I think I'd have to read more of it.
Oh.
Really get into the vibe of it, you know, really get to read the story build up.
For next race, can you read one of these and read the whole thing and then
The
report
whole
back?
thing.
Yeah, the whole thing. Pick one.
Honestly, they're not that long.
Pick one that you think you really like, that you like the look of, and then read out the synopsis when you're back on the next pod and explain what you enjoyed about it.
Okay.
Now, when you search F1 stories on Wattpad, there are quite a lot. The ones that I picked, so Muse is ranked number 3, Cool Down is ranked number 8, and what was the other one?
Design His Wings.
Design His Wings is ranked number 20. I wanted to go for like a variety of different drivers. Most of them, Lando Norris.
Interesting. He is a bit of a heartthrob, though.
And there wasn't much Charles Leclerc, which I was expecting. I was kind of hoping for a little Charles Leclerc number.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of posts where the drivers are in romantic relationships with each other.
Yes, I have seen this.
Yes.
Everyone thinks Lando's gay.
Yes. There's also a lot of drivers that aren't gay, but they make gay.
Yeah.
And or bi-curious in these stories. So the imagination is a thing to behold. But we must remember not to judge others, because without creativity, we wouldn't have Human Centipede. And that was creative. So
Not
there you
the
go.
best example, but yeah.
Creative nonetheless. What the fuck do we
I
do
wonder
now?
how the drivers feel about this.
Yeah.
Probably very uncomfortable.
Oh my god, hard cut to us like next year getting Wattpad stories about us.
No! I'm going to write one. Should we move on to Ream's recap?
Oh my god, we got a recap. Fucking hell. Okay, fine.
Max Verstappen wins in Monza.
Max Verstappen wins at the Italian Grand Prix after having not a successful weekend last week where he didn't win. He came back flying again, and he was speeding through. Well, he had many people behind him, but it felt like he didn't have that many people behind him at some point because he was so far ahead, and he got the cheers from the Tifosi crowd.
Lando Norris is able to make a little chunk out of Oscar Piastri's lead.
Lando Norris wins the... No, he didn't win. Lando Norris gets P2 at the Italian Grand Prix, one position ahead of Oscar Piastri's teammate, he's still fighting for the Drivers' Championship. But the man still has a long way to go trying to catch up to Piastri, still with a 30-something points. But there are 31 points between them.
Pit stop drama and controversy at the Papaya House.
McLaren enforces Papaya Rules, even though a championship between the two drivers is still going on, and it makes X-fandom get dramatic and get a bunch of backlash and fight against it.
Gabby the Great moves up 2 places in the Drivers' Championship, overtaking Carlos Sainz and Oliver Behrman.
Gabby the Great!
Gabby the Great!
The Sauber driver, who, yes, has not yet gotten a podium, but is way ahead of his teammate, and who DNF'd, yes, in this race.
Oh, okay.
Who DNF'd in this race.
DNS'd
in this race. He qualified in the top 10, and he finished in the top 10. So the rookie still has a lot of potential and a lot of cheering behind him.
Are the Tifosi Delulu for Lulu after his rise up to P6 from P10?
The Tifosi, very, very large and very loud crowd seems to be Delulu. Period.
Body shame him.
Seems to be Delulu, period.
Yeah. And seem to cheer and boo at anything that they see, and also like to serenade Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. So yes, I would say they are Delulu for Lulu.
Fernando Alonso, suspension failure, out of the race.
Fernando Alonso seemed to have us a almost good start at the beginning of this race, behind the person that he manages, Gabriel Bortoleto, and managing to overtake him, but unfortunately had to retire out of the race. Once again, always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Hadji the Cute gets up into the points finishes, finishing in 10th place after a pit lane start.
Hadji the Cute has a very impressive race, considering that he started from the pit lane and then still managed to finish in the points and get 1 point, which is better than his teammate Liam Lawson, who has not scored any this race.
Oliver Behrman has 10 points on his penalty licence. If he gets to 12, he gets a race ban.
Oliver Behrman needs to watch himself and needs to behave in a much better way for the next few races, otherwise he could risk a race ban. And he needs to not be reckless, not a reckless rookie, he just needs to be a good rookie. Is it not that one?
A good boy.
A good boy.
All right, nicely done with the Ream recap.
Thank you.
Sing the outro.
Reams recap.
Ooh.
Thank you for playing. And we now move on to the Grand Prix Podium.
Whoa, that was all you, girl. Oh, couldn't compete.
And we're going to start off, of course, with Prick, who was a prick this race, who performed terribly.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1.
Yuki
Oliver
Tsunoda.
Behrman.
Oh,
Who did
we
you
all have
say?
different
Antonelli.
thoughts.
Antonelli,
Yuki
Ollie
Tsunoda.
Behrman, and Yuki Tsunoda. Interesting. Okay. Why Antonelli?
Antonelli got a 5-second time penalty for driving erratically.
Mm-hmm.
He had a bad start. He then dropped back 4 places. He was running in P10. He was in a DRS train with Bortoleto, which started all the way up in P7 and kind of got stuck there. He managed to make an overtake on Tsunoda and was sort of left, right, trying to get his way up the field. But then he got a black and white flag for track limits, and then he ended up getting a 5-second time penalty for driving erratically and ended up in P9 at the end of it. So it just felt like a bit of a scrappy race. And even though Imola is technically his home race, Monza is still Italy, which is still his home. I just wanted a bit more from him, because I think that Russell was able to maximise what they had in the car today, and I don't know that Antonelli did. And there wasn't many other people that were having track limits, so it wasn't like it was a really twisty, turvy sort of narrow circuit like it's Austria that we always seem to get track limits at. We had that in 2024, but no one else really was, which tells me that maybe he just wasn't driving on the limit, or maybe he was driving over the limit. But either way, I just thought, I'm not really seeing the Antonelli magic that I want to see, so I said prick for him.
Okay. I said Ollie Behrman for his collision with Carlos Sainz and for the fact that he is so close to a race ban.
Well, that makes sense.
And you say Yuki Tsunoda?
Because he managed to make it to Q3 in qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
He qualified in P10.
But started P9.
He started P9. He had every bit of potential to at least score 1 point this race if he actually tried. And he ended up finishing in 13th place. Didn't score any points. And that's down to his own skills as a driver.
That's not down to his own skills. That's down to the car. I'm sorry, but yes, there was a point in the race where Max was in P1 and he was in P19, which was dead last because a few people had retired. However, I think that it comes down to the setup of that car. Laura Meckies, the team principal himself, said that Max pushed them into a very strange and unfamiliar sort of setup for the car, but it allowed Max to unlock some speed and downforce and was able to get him on pole and then win the race. So I think that where other people have tried and failed to be able to keep up with the excellence that Max produces out of that car, he is the only person that can and has been that way for a long time. So we can't keep saying that Yuki Tsunoda isn't performing well. It's the car, and that is always going to be the fact.
But
so for that sake,
no, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm not going to give him that excuse anymore. There's, to a certain extent, yes, it's the car. And I'm not expecting him to be getting a podium anytime soon. I'm not expecting him to be in the top 5 anytime soon. But the fact that he managed to qualify and make it to Q3. At some point, he was actually doing very well in qualifying. He was like 3rd or 4th. He has potential. He can at least try and score. When he's qualifying in 10th, and all he has to do is get 1 point, I think he has potential to do that, whether he's in a shit car or not. So I think it's, at this point, I wouldn't give him the excuse of it's just a bad car anymore.
Yeah. At what point does he need to become more vocal with the team and say, do what you're doing for Max, but you need to set this car up how I want it as well?
Yeah.
This is a legacy issue. This car has been set up around one driver. This goes from, Daniel Ricciardo to Pierre Gasly to Alex Albon to Sergio Perez to Liam Lawson to Yuki Tsunoda. This is not a one driver thing. We would be saying the exact same thing about Sergio Perez, Liam Lawson, the rest of them. It's down to the fact that this team is set up around Max and Max only, and the way that he likes to drive on that limit is so sensitive and so twitchy that it can make other drivers uncomfortable, viscerally uncomfortable to have to drive it. So maybe he's able to make it one lap around a circuit, but having to do 53 laps, pumping it in, overtaking, being able to be aware of your strategy and talking to your engineer, maybe it's just too much for him to be able to handle. So I don't think that's fair.
But, he's only scored 9 points while being in Red Bull, and Max has got 230.
I think you guys are underestimating how much the car beneath you is a contributing factor to your headspace and your ability and how much you feel you can achieve within a race. And we have consistently seen Yuki Tsunoda down at the bottom, but I don't think that is all down to a lack of talent or a lack of trying from Yuki's part. I think it's down to the car.
Okay, well, who are we picking?
I'm down to go with Ollie Behrman or Antonelli. You are void.
What about you?
Your answer's been made void, so you pick between Ollie and...
Hey, what's your answer? You could still make a choice.
No, I'm not saying Yuki.
Oh, how come?
Because I also do agree that some of it is the car.
Mm.
I think at some point that needs to stop being an excuse, because he has a voice and he has said openly that he feels a lot more comfortable having Laura Meckies as his team principal. So at some point this is going to need to change. But yeah, probably not yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd go with Ollie Behrman.
Okay, fine.
She said that just to spite you.
I think she did too.
No, genuinely, I think with this one, Ollie Behrman.
Well, Ollie Behrman, you went from grand last week to prick this week.
Mm.
So sorry, but it's your own fault. And deciding who is grand for this race. 3, 2, 1. Lewis Hamilton.
Hadjar.
Oh my god, we're all at odds.
I
today.
know.
Oh my God, what's
It's
in
the
water?
Wattpad. It's put us all in different moods. Right, I said Lewis. You said Bortoletto, and
I
Reem.
said Hadjar.
Okay. So I've said Lewis because obviously he had the 5-place grid penalty,
Yep.
and he's managed to climb from 10th to 6th on the grid. Managed to get a decent whack of points for the team, and he's closing that gap between himself and Leclerc just a tiny bit. And I think, normally he's not sort of showing that he's comfortable with the car and stuff like that, but I think this race was like the first time, obviously not including the Chinese sprint race, but like the first time since then really where we've seen him properly comfortable with the car and what it's capable of doing.
Yeah, I hear that.
I said Hadjar because he started in the pit lane and then he finished in P10 and he still managed to get 1 point for the Racing Bulls team.
Yeah, it's also a great argument.
Yeah.
Mine's for Gabrielle. Gabby the Great.
Gabby the Great.
You nearly caught me slipping.
Gabby the Great.
Finishing in P8 in a kick Sauber when they're going to be turning into Audi next year. I mean, we're really starting to see Gabby the Great come into his own this season.
Yeah.
I also think that it's a representative grand for the team kick Sauber because Jonathan Wheatley is obviously heading up the team, who came from Red Bull, and he's quite obviously brought over a lot of the ideologies and philosophies they have over in Red Bull and is starting to transfer it over to this outfit. And he was also saying that a lot of the improvements on the car and the drivability has come from Mattia Binotto. Mattia Binotto was the previous Ferrari team principal who ended up getting replaced by Fred Vasseur, who is now the team principal today. They are two very formidably intelligent and competitive people. And seeing the turnaround for this team, I think, has been so fun to watch. And I think for both Nico Hülkenberg and Gabby the Great, I think it's just wonderful to watch them race. And seeing them last year, they were pointless. They didn't have any points last year. And to see them getting things like a P8, getting 4 points when Hülkenberg wasn't in the race, I just think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing. So I think Gabby did a fantastic job, and 4 points for Kick Sauber is awesome.
Yeah. I'd be happy to put Bortolato as Grant.
Not Lewis?
I think he's had a great race, Lewis, going up from P10 to P6. But at the same time, I think what the rookies were able to do, both Hadra and Bortolato this race, was a bit more impressive for me.
God, you really do love praising a rookie, huh?
Yeah.
I think that the best of Lewis this season is yet to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this was a fantastic springboard race, and I think if he can continue that momentum into Baku and maybe Singapore and a few other of the tracks, I think we might see the Lewis of old that I have seen racing in previous seasons. But I agree that it was a much better headspace that Lewis seemed to be operating in, and it was nice to hear him not being self-deprecating and down in the dumps. It was nice to hear him a bit more on the up and a bit more bouncy and light, because that's, we don't want to see anyone down the dumps. So.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll say Gabriel Bortolato as well.
God, I should do debate class. I'm good at it.
You're not in school.
No.
And Grand Prix, whose performance was as good as this wonderful podcast?
No one can operate to this level.
2, 1.
Max Verstappen! Max Verstappen! Da, 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 da. Max Verstappen!
Reem, talk us through it.
Max just had a brilliant race. I think he had a strong start. He continued to be very impressive throughout, and he maintained his position at the very end, and he just seemed very ecstatic after the race as well. Like, he just seemed super happy when he had the podium. He was like smiling. I think this is the most that we've seen Max smile in a race in a while. And I thought it was just a great weekend for him, and also like qualifying in pole as well. So it was a great qualifying and a great race for him.
I think Lauren Meckies said it best when he spoke to Max over the radio at the end of the race, that said it was a masterclass, mate. What to say? You had race pace control. Very proud. Well done. I think this was seeing Max at his best, just operating at a high level and recognising and strategising his race early on, recognising he needed to pass those McLarens to stay ahead. Similar to what he did in Imola, actually. Once he knew he needed to get ahead, and once he did, he scampered off into the distance. But also a fiercely intelligent driver to be able to know where to push that setup, even though it was a strange setup, admittedly, said by his team principal, I think shows that Max is able to drive in such a unique way, but it works for him. And when he has the car beneath him to be able to deliver, he doesn't fucking let it go. And I think that is a very cool, a cool quality of him. So you can't fault it. Did everything right, and I thought it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I agree. And that is the Italian Grand Prix all wrapped up in a bow.
What a chaotic episode we've had of many different things covered.
Yes, it really is. Now, there's no race next week, but the week after that, we will be back for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a street race in Baku.
Back to Baku.
And I bet you're wondering what we're going to be talking to you about next week. Hey, Reem, what do Alpine, Mercedes, Racing Bulls, and Red Bull all have in common?
They have not renewed contracts for the drivers.
Yes, they have not locked in both of their drivers for next year. So,
I wouldn't say it's immature time, but we're heading into
Silly season.
There we go.
yes. So next week, our episode is going to be a deep dive on driver contracts, what's in them, what's the weird things in them, what's the abnormal things in them.
And historical shock contract negotiations that are revealed.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun.
And also Cadillac?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be interesting to talk about that.
Well, that was Monza. If you enjoyed this episode and all that it had to offer, and my God, there was lots, make sure you follow us on our socials for extra content. We're available on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. And if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give it a follow, give it a review, give it a rating, share it with a friend, do all of the above, just share
We
the
had
love.
a very funny comment that someone
We
put as a
did.
review on Spotify, and I loved it. It was amazing.
So we got a comment on Spotify that said, Ink Trooper, this is from you. How do you leave a review? Lol. I've been listening since China, I think. And
Dedicated.
I've been listening since China, I think. And even though I'm not into race recaps, I do thoroughly enjoy yours. You make me blow air through my nostrils, which it's equivalent to a laugh.
And you know what?
Is so fucking real.
I
That's so
have,
real.
As narcissistic as it is, I have done that many times listening to our own podcast.
Gotta get those views up somehow. No, I live for that comment, and this sounds really weird, but all of us sometimes forget that people listen to this.
Yeah.
That it sort of feels like you release it into the ether and then you kind of carry on with your week and you're on to the next race or the next episode, and we sort of forget that people listen. So, because Lord knows the interaction sometimes on social media is a bit, ugh. But that comment made all of our weeks, and it was very nice to hear.
Yeah.
So keep them coming. We don't need normal reviews. Just that one was perfect. Use that as your tracing paper for how to write a review for us.
Well, we will see you next week for our deep dive into driver contracts. Bella, ciao!
Ciao!